Chapter 1, A Losing Conflict. No, no, no. I can't believe we were ambushed. Hanson yelled to his soldiers who were rushing towards the shores. They began pulling out their weapons as they met their ambushers. Most of the soldiers stopped right in their tracks. All of them took a good look at their ambushers, who were robots and synthetics. The robots and synthetics were waiting on large ships that lined the shore. How in the hell? Tyson yelled as other soldiers stood dumbfounded. This was planned, another soldier said, trying to hide the fear in his voice. They're not going to beat themselves, so. All of them began to hear a familiar voice behind them as they all turned around. Worthless, the voice said loudly. Arson, no, this can't be. Tyson responded as Arson began laughing. You people, useless pawns, should just put those guns of yours to your heads and pull, Arson said arrogantly. You bastard. Why didn't you help us out of our economic situation? Hanson yelled back to as Arson looked down at him. You can't get mad at me. You people let me run your banks and manage the country's money, Arson responded. Hanson thought about what he said as he slowly looked up to Arson. The media has shoved your minds with so much propaganda. You became so gullible that you let infiltrators like me run your precious America. I own your country and I own your planet, Arson said, cackling loudly. Shut up, Tyson yelled, grabbing a rocket launcher and aiming at him. He shot the missile as it flew at Hanson. The missile contacted Arson's body as an explosion engulfed him. The smoke around him cleared as Arson had an angry look on his face. He made an unnatural smile on his face as he snapped his fingers. Suddenly, all the robots and synthetics' eyes turned an evil red. They looked at the soldiers. Game over, Arson said as the robots began unloading on the soldiers. Damn it, we have to. Hanson stopped his sentence as the soldiers dispersed, going crazy. We need to recuperate, Hanson yelled as the soldiers continued to go crazy. Hanson quickly grabbed another rocket launcher that was lying on the ground. He was able to shoot at a group of robots. The explosion pushed him back as pieces of metal flew in every direction. Hanson turned around, seeing even more robots attacking his soldiers. We have to escape, Hanson screamed again as a synthetic tackled into the ground. The thing ripped the rocket launcher out of Hanson's hand as it put one of its hands onto Hanson's face. The hand quickly heated up as Hanson screamed. He was able to knock the robot off him. The robot rolled across the grass as Hanson was about to continue until he heard a familiar voice behind him. He swiftly turned around, seeing Arson sitting in a floating chair. What the hell? Hanson was about to throw a punch. Arson stopped his hand as he grabbed Hanson's neck. What? Let me go, Hanson screeched as Arson lifted him into the air. Arson then turned Hanson around as he saw his soldiers being slaughtered. Hanson couldn't do anything, seeing the robots demolishing his soldiers. Tyson saw what happened as he grabbed the rocket launcher, aiming at Hanson and Arson. He shot the missile as Hanson slightly leaned to the side. The explosion enveloped them both. Hanson fell from the explosion as he hit the ground hard. Arson floated out of the explosion with an angry look on his face. Damn pawn. He held his 5 fingers towards Tyson as lasers fired toward him. He tried to fire, but was too late as the lasers pierced his body. The 5 lasers ripped through his head and neck as he fell to the ground instantly. Hanson sprinted over to Tyson as he observed the body. He looked up at Arson, who had a huge smile on his face. He grabbed the rocket launcher as he shot more missiles at Arson, as he quickly flew at Hanson. He again grabbed Hanson by the neck. He tightened the grip as Hanson became weaker. He lifted him back into the air as he spoke face to face with Hanson. You are nothing but a pawn in the game called war. Arson then sent an electric shock through Hanson's body. He then dropped Hanson to the ground. He twitched as the robots and synthetics made their way to him. Leave him to die here. Let him witness the carnage until he dies. Hanson slowly moved his head as the robots made their way through the forest and toward the city. Hanson slowly held his hand towards the city as he moaned, then losing consciousness. Arson started at the city as he stared at the people trying to defend it. We were able to destabilize this whole planet. All those world leaders were a great help. An airship hovered over the city as it dropped a bomb on the city. Buildings collapsed and people were blown away as the city imploded on itself. Time for the next agenda. That was chapter one of a book I'm attempting to write called Digitized. How was it?